Joining us now, former NASA administrator Jim Bridenstine is with us. Jim, thank you for being with us. It looks like they're about to come out from my perspective. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Sean, they are. And I want to be clear. It has taken a little time to get out of this capsule, but we should not dismiss the gravity of what just happened. We just had a pinpoint landing. When you think about in geography, we pinpoint landing in geography, but also in timing to the second. This was a stunning achievement. And I want to be really clear about where we were before President Trump became president. We had zero moon mission. And his very first space policy directive said, go to the moon and go sustainably. In other words, stay on the surface of the moon. Use the resources of the moon. That's in Space Policy Directive 1. And to be clear, we talk about Greenland a lot. We talk about natural resources, the geographical strategic value of it. The moon is that times 1,000, probably way more than 1,000. The Earth has a very active geology, a very active atmosphere and hydrosphere. When we talk about rare earth metals, rare earth minerals, these are asteroid impacts from billions of years ago. And when you find them on Earth, they're in very trace amounts. That is not true of the moon. It doesn't have an atmosphere. It doesn't have an active geology. Anything that impacted the moon billions of years ago is today right where it was billions of years ago. We need to go to the moon. We need to beat China to the moon. We need to make sure that the United States of America has the budgets to achieve the outcomes that are in America's interest. This is American greatness, and we're seeing it with our own eyes right now, and we need to double down and triple down on it.
I agree with that, and the plan is that we will be back on the moon, walking on that moon in 2028, and then off to Mars. Your thoughts on that?
100%. The president just tweeted that the next step is Mars, and that is absolutely where we're going. We have to get to the surface of the moon. We need to set up the base, and we need to go on to Mars. That is what American greatness is all about. I also want to be clear. Today, NASA's budget is 0.3% of the federal budget. Now, President Trump, to his credit, when he gave us Space Policy Directive 1, he also increased our budget. He said, look, there was grass growing out of the runways at Kennedy Space Center. We need to get it fixed. We need to go to the moon, and we need to go on to Mars. We've done all of that. Now we need to say, okay, that 0.3% of the federal budget, it used to be 5% in the Apollo era. We just had Charlie Duke on. Charlie Duke said, you know, that era of spaceflight was amazing. Boy, if we're going to go to Mars, we need to get this budget up. And President Trump did it once. I think we're going to do it again. If we can't get behind this mission at this point, thanks to his leadership, boy, nothing's going to do it. This is a great day for America, and it's a demonstration of American greatness.
Jim, I want you to look. I just saw, it looks like the first crew member has now exited the capsule. The first crew member is now out of that capsule. Pretty amazing. And the challenges of going from zero gravity back into the Earth's orbit, it is challenging on the body physically, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Now I want to be clear. I'm certainly not a NASA astronaut, but I had the opportunity to work with a lot of them, and different people respond in different ways. I think for this particular mission, recovery will be very quick because it was only 10 days. But when our astronauts go to the International Space Station and they're there for a period of 9 months to even up to a year, sometimes it's a lot harder to recover from the amount of atrophy from the muscles and the bone and everything else. The vestibular system, of course, takes a hit, and all that takes time to recover. I'm very hopeful that
by the way,
this particular
let me, Jim, if I may, I don't want to interrupt you, and I want to get some more thoughts from you. The second crew member is now out of the capsule, but I want to go back to something you talked about earlier. The International Space Station, the Artemis program, is the first manned lunar program within NASA since 1972. It's hard to believe. The goal is to land a crew on the moon in 2028. China is planning such a mission in 2030. Humans have traveled further into space than ever before in the history of civilization. I'm sure that they learned a lot that we'll be learning more about in the days to come. This is all pretty exciting stuff. And then, as the president said, it's on to Mars. And the one thing I've learned about President Trump, when he says it, he means it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And here's what we now know. We can do it. We just did it. President Trump said in his first term, we're going to go to the moon, and then we're going to go on to Mars. We now know we can beat China to the moon. We just did it. Now what we need is a landing system. We need to be able to land on the surface of the moon, and we need to be able to fly longer distances to Mars. All of that is definitely in the cards. And I will tell you, it's important, and I can't stress this enough. I'm a budget hawk. I served in Congress. I voted against all kinds of budget bills. But in this particular case, for the greatness of America, we need to take NASA's budget and we need to increase it. Now is the time to do it.
The third crew member is out. Jim Bridenstine, we really appreciate you being with us tonight and your insight and expertise, and also inspiration that this is important and it's not as expensive as maybe some people say, but the benefits that we've gotten from past missions are numerous and probably worthy of an entire show one night. Anyway, we appreciate you, Jim, being with us. We're going to go back to NASA spokesperson Bethany Stevens. We now have, from what I can see, 3 of the 4 crew members are out of the capsule, Bethany. What can you tell us?
So those first three crew members are Christina, mission specialist, Victor, the pilot, and Jeremy, our Canadian mission specialist. Left in the capsule should be the commander, Reed Weissman. This means that we're making progress. Everything is going according to plan. This mission has been flawless thus far. I know that Administrator Bridenstine just mentioned that it's taken us a little while to get them out of the water. We're hoping to extract Reed soon and send them well on their way to that recovery ship and hopefully get them home to their families here soon.
Bethany, I can tell you right now, all 4 crew members have left the capsule. They are now in that raft adjacent to the capsule. All 4 crew members have been extracted, it looks like safely, obviously surrounded by medical staff, medical crew. They got a medical check. Apparently, thumbs up on all 4 in terms of their medical condition.
Fantastic. That's exactly what we train for. That's what we hope for when we send our astronauts up on these missions. We hope for this safe splashdown and landing, and we will now get them over to those medical officers to do those checks.
You know, you said something earlier, and as I've been watching all night, and America's been watching all night, you used the word and the description and the adjective flawless. This was flawless. The timing was flawless. The reentry, flawless. The splashdown, flawless. It really is a tribute to so many, both, you know, to the astronauts that bravely take on these missions, number one, but all the way down to the engineers and the people involved in building these incredible machines that are able to successfully do all of this. I'm looking right now. It looks like NASA headquarters, and you know, I see a lot of people hugging and high-fiving, and obviously a celebration, because every single person, whatever part they play in this process, they're all invested. They've invested their lives into making sure that they get up, they accomplish their mission, and we get them home safely as they are now.
Yeah, and that's mission control that you're seeing. Those are the people who have been controlling this mission day and night, 24 hours, dedicating their lives to making sure that these astronauts return home safely and that we execute this mission well. It took us years to get to this point, and there's a reason for that. We wanted to execute with perfection. Now we have an agenda set forth for us. We've heard the president talk about it. We've heard the administrator of NASA talk about it. We're going to be doing these missions on a yearly cadence. We're not going to have the luxury of having 3 years to get these out. We're in the middle of a second space race with China. They're a great geopolitical adversary, and we're going to continue executing these with excellence on a tighter timeline.
I'm very competitive. I want to beat China at everything. I want to beat Russia at everything. I want to beat all of our geopolitical foes at everything. And I say it proudly. If you're just joining us, all 4 Artemis II crew members are now out of the capsule. Why don't we talk a little bit, Bethany, about what's going to happen next? There is a procedure to hoist the astronauts up to Navy helicopters, and that process will begin very shortly, correct?
Yes, they're going to hoist those astronauts up off of those inflatable rafts up to the helicopter, take them over to the Navy's USS Mertha, where they will be greeted by the crew members aboard, including Administrator Isaacman. They're going to be checked out by medical officers and continue that process. And then that will lead us into tomorrow, where we're going to return them home to Houston, Texas, where their families are, where mission control is, where they've trained for this mission. Bring them back home safely and reunite them with their families, where they can tell us everything about what they have learned on this historic mission.
Well, Bethany, congratulations to all on a job well done. Every person, to the last person that has been a part of this success, they deserve our great gratitude. Anyway, we really appreciate your insights, spending time with us.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.